Well, Tory himself considered taking the stand, but did not.
Yeah.
And I guess what the prosecution was saying, that if he was to take the stand, that they would bring up all types of stuff, previous gun incidents, gun tattoos, lyrics, and everything else like that.
The only thing I'd heard that they were going to definitely bring up, and the judge emphasized he thought this was relevant, was the lyrics to like Cap, the music video, and that kind of thing. That that was gonna come in if he testified.
In retrospect, do you think that Tory would have benefited or hurt himself by taking the stand?
I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know what he would have said. I kind of think, I mean, he was convicted, so could it have hurt him any worse? I mean, could he have been convicted of all 3 charges times 10 or something if he testified? No. I mean, he probably still would have just been convicted, but he could have given it a go.
Yeah. Well, then on 12/21, the jury deliberates. How long was the deliberation? Was it overnight?
It was 7 hours over 2 days.
Over 2 days. Got it. What was the feel in the courtroom when the jury started deliberating?
It was, tensions and waiting. And at that point, I mean, I was just kind of annoyed because the trial had stretched on for so long. But yeah, I mean, that's the worst part, is just waiting for the jury verdict.
Well, then on 12/23, the jury came back. Tory Lanez was found guilty on all 3 charges for shooting Megan Thee Stallion. All 3 of them are felonies: assault with a semi-automatic firearm, possession of a concealed unregistered firearm, and negligent discharge of a firearm. You were right there in the courtroom when the jury came back with their decision, and Tory's father blew up when this happened.
Yeah, I mean, Tory's dad freaked out in the courtroom and started screaming and pointing his finger at the prosecutors, and his stepmom stood up, and I just remember thinking that it was crazy that the sheriff's deputies didn't have more people in there, because they had, and it was December 23rd, so it was a skeleton holiday crew, but they had 4 people there, and of course Lanez is getting remanded, so they've got to keep a hand on him, but then they're trying to get the stepmom and the dad under control. And then as the dad is screaming, a woman behind us lifts up her arm and says, "In Jesus' name, in Jesus' name," starts repeating it. And then that's when the woman turned around, and the first Jay-Z is a bitch was just a completely natural reaction to what
Who said this? The dad?
It was a woman. I don't know her name, but a Tory Lanez supporter. She was sitting in front of us. I'd seen her in the hallway and around, and talked to her a little bit. And, she seemed nice, but she was just so stunned that Tory was convicted. She could not believe it. And she goes, "Man, Jay-Z's a bitch." And then she turns around and sees me and a couple other reporters, and her eyes kind of lower, and she sees me and she says, "Report that. Jay-Z is a bitch." And we were kind of nervous because the dad was screaming at this time. And as in Jesus' name, Jay-Z is a bitch, you kind of start to realize it's like, wow, we're surrounded by these people. I mean, if something happened, it could get really bad here, but nothing did. I mean, the sheriff's deputies just got him pushed him out of the courtroom, and there was never any kind of physical altercation or anything. Well, the physical altercation was the deputies getting him out of the courtroom, and then we could hear him out there carrying on. But that was actually probably an unexpected highlight of the sentencing, especially yesterday when he apologized for that. My jaw dropped when Sunstar started apologizing for his outburst, and he was very emotional about it to the judge too.
Right, because even outside, after the verdict was read, he was screaming about Roc Nation and the whole conspiracy theory of it all and everything else like that, because Megan is managed by Roc Nation, and they think that they somehow manipulated this trial and so forth. And actually later on, his dad actually called you out as a clout journalist.
I saw that, and I was like, well, because they're... Yeah, I saw the clout chasing journalist video, and I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, in the end, Baez has pretty much backed up everything I said about Tory's lawyers. Yeah. Because, and what was Sunstar's big problem on that? It was, he'd seen something in an interview I did where I talked about how they must have been like leaking transcripts, and it was kind of a misconstrue of what I said, because in the end, if Tory's lawyers get a court transcript and they give it to someone, they're not really leaking the transcript. I mean, they can do whatever they want with the transcripts. But my point was, it was really obvious that Tory's lawyers were like spreading the transcripts around. And it's like, well, maybe you should have used that transcript to make a PowerPoint presentation for your closing argument, like all the other attorneys I see do at these courthouses.
Right, because academics, I guess, got some information during the trial and it kind of became an issue, right?
I'm not sure if it was during the trial, or I just know about the pretrial stuff with the DNA report or the information about the DNA stuff.